UFC 310, December 7th on the card. Randy Brown. Randy, how we doing, brother?
Good, my man. How are you?
Good, man. Appreciate the time, like I said before. But off the bat, a lot of people are wondering why Bryan Battle? Why not Carlos Prates? What happened there?
Nothing. I mean, I guess he couldn't, Practice couldn't settle on a date. He wanted New York, and that wasn't enough time. And I was already set for December 7th. UFC offered him December 7th. I guess that wasn't good for him, so he went with someone else.
And I'm sure all focus is on Bryan Battle, but you were the one to tweet, give me Prates. Is that still a fight you want?
Absolutely. I mean, down the line, we'll see what happens. See, I'm sure he'll do what he needs to do against Magny, and I'll do what I need to do against this dude, Battle, and then we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure we'll meet at some point. But I'm just looking forward, and I'm looking at the guy I got to deal with. I mean, right now in front of him.
Does that mean you're picking Prates to beat Magny?
Yeah, I am.
Have you worked with Magny before? I know you guys have both crossed similar paths.
Yeah, I've worked with him a few times. In passing.
Just curious because that's next week on already. So yeah, excited to watch that one. But like you said, Bryan Battle for you.
Mm.
Any history with him? I know he can be a little loud sometimes.
Mm-mm. I don't even. I got no history with him. I mean, I don't really know much about him. I know he fought my boy Petrowski. He fought one
Yep.
of my teammates in the past, and I know he caught him, via what was like a guillotine or something. That's pretty much as I knew about him. And then the French thing, when he did that whole French post fight. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's as much as I really know about him.
You like that little post fight though? It's pretty badass.
That was cool. He said, "Did you think I was gonna come here and lose to a French dude?" Yeah, yeah. That made me laugh. Yeah, that was dope. That was he seems like a good intense dude. You know what I mean? A good fighter. Um, Durable. Like he ain't no punk. You know what I mean? And that's what I like.
Have you actually talked to Petrosky at all about this? Because he lived with them too on Tough. Like they
Oh,
know each
really?
other.
Oh, I mean, I know they fought, but that was so long ago. Petrowski's such a different fighter from me. You know what I mean? And I think the dude Battle is such a different guy than he was at the time to now. So, I don't. We spoke about it, but briefly. And it's two different type of fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. What kind of fight do you think this is going to be when you look at your guys' styles?
He's durable. He's coming forward. He's a pressure fighter. I know he's gonna try to cut me off, corner me, and try to try his best to wrestle at some point. Um, I think it's a sharpshoot type of fight. I do think that I end up just showing a skill set. You know what I mean? That there's a skill difference. I think when it comes to the stand up, and I think I have a style. He has a tremendous style, a tremendous pressure bust pipes. But I have a style that kind of it's hard for people to mimic, and it's hard for people to kind of deal with until you're in there. It's one thing looking at it from the outside, but when you're in there with me, you're like, oh shit. It's like I have a tendency to kind of control tempo.
And you guys are both surgeon. Like this is a fight with a lot of eyes on it for good reason. One,
Mm.
likely going to be a very exciting fight, but two, you got to think the winner here cracks the rankings or at least comes close to it. Like, what are your thoughts in regards to that?
Stop thinking about it, man. I don't even know. I just at this point, I feel I should be already ranked. I should be fighting a ranked opponent. But hey, it is the game is the game, you know what I mean? So you just got to keep showing and proving, and that's the name of the game. So ultimately you just have to be undeniable, and that's what I'm aiming to do. So um the rankings will come.
Are there names in that top of the ranking that maybe you're not curious about fighting, but that you're like, I know I could beat that guy? Like, what are your
Oh
thoughts on the
God.
current rankings?
I think the system is a joke. I think the system needs to be corrected, because it seems like just a popularity contest at this point. But yeah, there's a ton of guys, a ton of great matchups that I think the fans will love. Like, for instance, Neil Magny. I called out Neil Magny a while ago. When instead he fought. I called him out after my last fight, but instead he got to fight, uh, Dos Santos, and Dos Santos was unranked. But I get it, former champion and all that, so that's a good fight to take. But at the end of the day, he's over the hill, and he popped his knee by just moving around. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I think that's a great fight for me. That's a fight that I would love, fights like that, But what are you gonna do? You just got to keep grinding, keep grinding. I got to deal with this dude, so let me get past this dude, and then we'll talk about that.
Do you have any envision for 2025 yet? What's that year looking like when it comes to your goals?
Absolutely. 2025 will be, the year of where people will start to recognize, my skill set. I feel like I'm super underappreciated. You know what I mean?
I don't
But
know about that, man. You're getting a lot of love lately.
I mean, it's up to me though to continue to show, what it's about. You know what I mean? What I'm about and my skill set is really about. So I just got to keep showing and proving. That's it. And I'm excited to go and do that. 2025, you'll be hearing my name a lot more.
And if you're a matchmaker, which you're not, but put your matchmaker hat on for a second
Mhm.
here. How do you fix this welterweight division now that Bilal's out? Do you just say, chill, we're going to wait 6 weeks, go back to how we were
Mhm.
going to do it? Interim, what do you do?
Throw somebody in there. That I wouldn't even do. Oh yeah, I would do it interim. Why not? I would throw someone in against Shavkat, and because a lot of times we keep these guys around at the top, and they don't want to shuffle the deck. I want to give someone new. Like you see what they did at the middleweight. You see how they did. They went ahead and gave Roundtree the title shot.
Yeah, light heavyweight.
Fuck
Yeah.
it. Throw. There's a guy you don't have to be number two or number three to fight for world championship. If the ranking is only there's how many people in a division, right? Say is what a couple hundred people guys in a
Lot.
division.
Yeah.
If you're in the top 15, only 15 of you are the best in the world. 15 of you should be able to, or at least the top 10 of you should be able to fight for a title. I think in a situation like this, pick somebody, have somebody fight them. Somebody that's in the 1 to 10, jump in there.
I mean, there's a lot of exciting fights if you break it down like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, every division, at least 80 to, I don't know, there's like 750 people in the UFC. You break that down by however many divisions, there's probably 50 to 80 people at least in every division. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Why not?
everyone top 10 should be eligible.
Yeah, give someone a fight. And I'm not saying he's fighting for a title anyway. Give him a fight to fight for the interim. He's gonna fight this guy. I know, I'm sure he's ready. What's his name? Shavkat. I know he's ready. So, give him anybody. Anybody that's gonna be I say, why not give Sean Brady a shot? Sean Brady doesn't have a matchup. Let Sean Brady fight him.
Philadelphia. Go Birds right there, baby.
Hmm.
And speaking of Philly, I mean, have you been in there at all? Like, where you mainly been training this camp?
That's my guys, man. That's my guys right there. That's family. So, I'm always there weekly. Sometimes I stay out there a week at a time. Um, but still with my crew here in New York for the most part, but whenever I get a chance, I'm out there getting rounds.
So it's really just between those two spots for the most part now. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm here. I'm here in New York, and then I go to Philly, and sometimes I stay in Philly like a week or two at a time, and then I come back here to New York and back and forth like that.
And I mean, like, just talking about Sean Brady specifically, just because he's also really now finding his footing, working his way up. How
Mhm.
soon do you think he's really knocking on title contention door?
I think he's next up. I think is whenever whoever they give him next, I think he gets past them. Knock on wood, he does what he needs to do. Then that's it. I think one more in title shot. In a situation right now, I think they should be calling guys like Brady. They should be calling guys like you know who wants to step up and fight for our interim. Why not?
And for this one, who's going to be in your corner?
For this one, I got the same crew, man. Nardu, Sensei Nardu. I got Tyrone Credo and Matt Cully. Same guys that have been with me since day one, from my amateur days. And I got the crew coming down. I got my peoples coming down to just train with me and be around. So for fight week, that's it.
Now, I'm veering this away from MMA now.
Mm.
And I'm only asking this because it's this freaking week. Do you pay attention to politics at all?
Uh, Not as much as I used to. No, I've learned not to pay attention to it.
Well,
I've,
my next question, I'm not going to ask who's winning, blah blah blah, but how do you feel? Because UFC, whether you can't really deny it, for whatever reason, it's very intertwined politically, especially
Mhm.
during these types of years. Like, do you care about that at all? Is that something you hate? Does that bother you? Like, what are your thoughts on just, I guess, MMA in general and politics being closely related for some reason?
I don't think it's just MMA. I think it's sports in general recently, and it's
The
so
platform.
yeah, it's and the politicians are just they're such succubuses when it comes to big platforms, you know what I mean, and sports. So that's where the majority is, and that's where you can lead people, you know what I mean, and we have a strong hold on people and opinion. So why not? Why not get involved in politics, especially in sports as a politician, especially in a game like this where everyone's so super hyper masculine and opinionated and like why not? I'd do the same thing if I was a politician, but at the end of the day they're all scumbags, all of them. Every last one of them. So it is what it is. But
if they're
I don't
taxing me
care.
against my will, you're not a good person.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm like, what are we doing? Are we gonna make taxes less? Are we gonna make taxes less expensive? We're gonna take less taxes? Or what? Then I like you. If not, then no. But I don't know. I'm not really into the whole politics thing. I kind of stay away from that shit.
Well, my last political sort of question here is you said you're going to be in the building UFC 309 in New York. Did you see what Trump said about that on Rogan?
No, I never seen it. What is
He's
that?
he said Joe Rogan was like, "Hey, are you going to be at UFC 309 at MSG?" And he's like, "What is that? A few days after the election?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I'll either be there as the president of the United States or I'll be at home very depressed in bed." It was like, damn, it was
I
kind
didn't
of
see
funny.
that clip. I didn't see that clip. That was cool. They
Love him
kind
or
of
hate him, it's
that humanized that interview kind of humanized him for me a little bit. So that was kind of
totally.
cool.
I was gonna say love him or hate him. It's awesome when he walks into Madison Square Garden too.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. It's like he's like a rock star, which he is anyway. But it's like incredible the influence that he has and how much people love him, especially in our sport. It's wild.
Randy, last thing I want to do here. I'm not sure if you've seen this on Home of Fight before, but
Mhm.
we do pound for pound best segments, right? I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you two names. You tell me who's better. We'll go down the list. And for you, a lot of people, myself included, consider you one of the best boxers to ever
Mm.
do it. Obviously, you're well rounded, but those hands are a little different, dude.
I
So,
appreciate that. I
of course,
appreciate
man.
it.
So, I want to ask you, a great boxer, who your pound for pound best boxer is. I'll give you two names at a time. The winner will move on to the next name. That makes sense?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Number one, starting out hard for some reason, Max Holloway or Jorge Masvidal. And remember, pound for pound, not like 145, 170, pound for pound skill.
Max Holloway.
Max Holloway or
Mm.
Cody Garbrandt.
Max Holloway.
Holloway moving on some more. All right, we've seen this one before, but pure boxing, Max Holloway or Dustin Poirier.
Max Holloway.
Love it. Max Holloway moving on. Another rematch, but pure boxing, Max or Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Conor stealing it from Max finally. And this is you got to remember the pound for pound for this one because I'm bringing in a
Mhm.
big boy. Can Francis Ngannou beat Conor McGregor in boxing?
Conor McGregor.
Do you just think he's a little too technical there?
Yeah.
Speed, what does he say? Speed, precision? I don't remember what he says, but
Yeah, that whole thing.
something along those lines. All right, well, this is a fun one. Conor McGregor or Nate Diaz in boxing?
Conor McGregor.
McGregor moving on. This one might shake things up just because of what he's been doing. McGregor or Ilia Topuria?
It's funny. It's two different styles of boxing, right? 'Cause boxing has its own has different styles, like Mexican styles and American like modern type of boxing. And I feel Conor has that more tit for tat, slick type of boxing where Ilya has a Mexican style, cutting you off, ripping to the body, just tenacious type of pressure. It's tough. It's tough because they're both so good. But just pound for pound, I know this is probably gonna get controversial, and this doesn't mean that if they fought, Conor would beat him. But I'm gonna say Conor has a bigger, broader skill set.
Hey, I love it. And I like the detailed breakdown there, too. So
Yeah,
McGregor moving on. Two names left. One of the GOATs, Anderson Silva, Conor McGregor, boxing.
Anderson Silva.
Oh, Anderson Silva dethrones McGregor there at the very end. And one more name.
But
This guy's known to be a little touch and go, if you know what I mean. Randy Brown or Anderson Silva.
greatest of all time, Anderson Silva.
Love it, man. Anderson Silva, best pound for pound boxer in the
Yes,
UFC.
100%.
Awesome, man. Appreciate the time, Randy. Before I get you out of here, anything for all your fans around the world?
Nothing much, man. Just all love. Tune in on December 7th. I'm about to shake that shit up. Um, yeah, that's really it. Much love, man. And thank y'all for supporting me and thank y'all for always being there. And yeah, I got something nice for y'all December 7th. Something fun. So tune in.
Getting me excited. UFC 310. He said it. December 7th. Randy Brown, thank you so much, man. Kick ass and best of luck, best of skill.
All right, my man. Peace.